already been told that I'm going to talk about the roles and responsibilities of the Political Parties Regulation Commission, PPRC, as it relates to thank you very much. As it relates to regulating political parties. The Political Party Regulation Commission, formerly known as the Political Party Registration Commission, was enacted in the 1991 Constitution, Act number 6 of 1991, Section 34, 1 to 5, and Section 35, 1 to 8. As a former legislator, I'm going to be quoting the Constitution and other instruments copiously for obvious reasons. So you're going to excuse me on that. Section 34.1. There shall be a political party registration commission which shall consist of 4 members appointed by the President. A, the chairman of the commission. B, the chief electoral commissioner. C, a legal practitioner nominated by the Sierra Leone Bar Association. And D, a member nominated by the Sierra Leone Labour Congress. I want to bring you to the PPRC Act of 2022 as amended. Section 12.1 talk about functions of the commission. And I quote, the object for which the commission is established is for the regulation, including registration of political parties. 2. Without prejudice to the generality of subsection 1, it shall be the function of the commission to A, regulate, supervise, and monitor the affairs or conduct of political parties so as to ensure their compliance with the Constitution and this Act. B, monitor compliance of political parties with the terms and conditions of their registration. And C, monitor the accountability of political parties to their membership and to the electorates of Sierra Leone. And D, promote political pluralism and the spirit of constitutionalism among political parties. And E, mediate conflict or dispute within a political party between or among political parties. And F, do all other things to contribute to the attainment of the object stated in subsection 1. Let me also draw your attention to the PPRC section 13. It states, and I quote, the Commission shall, in the performance of its function, not be subject to the direction or control of any person or authority except as otherwise provided in the Constitution, in this Constitution or this Act. I want to also bring you to speed on the tenure of the APC executive, the ruling versus the directives. With this background, one can clearly see that the PPRC has powers that can execute independently without fear of failure. It is with this understanding in mind that Honorable Almami Ambassador Almami Kamara brought the attention of this commission that the All People's Congress APC party does not have the authority to extend the tenure of its current National Executive NEC and that of its National Advisory Committee NAC beyond February 18, 2026. That is supported by the PPRC Act number 25 of 2022. It's very clear and unambiguous when it comes to extension of tenure by political parties. In section 39.5 of the Act, it clearly states thus, and I quote, A political party shall not extend the tenure of any of its executive for more than 6 months. End of quote. If we look at Article 5 of the March 7, 2022 APC Constitution, under the rubric supremacy of the Constitution, it is clearly stated thus, and I quote, subject to the provision of the Constitution of Sierra Leone and other existing national laws, this Constitution, meaning the APC Constitution, shall be supreme, and its provision shall have binding force on all members, organs, and other bodies of the party. End of quote. Based on these provisions in the APC 2022 Constitution, the party does not have the authority to extend the tenure of its executive beyond February 18, 2026 because of the supremacy and binding force of the very Constitution. The APC Constitution contains no provision permitting the extension of tenure for the National Executive or the National Advisory Committee NAC. In the absence of short internal authority, Section 39(5) of the Political Parties Act 2022, which states, and I quote, the executive of a political party shall not extend its tenure for more than 6 months, end of quote, cannot be evoked to create a power the party's supreme governing instrument deliberately imposed. So this provision is plainly restrictive in nature. It imposes a ceiling and not a grant of power. If we also go to Article 20G of the same APC Constitution 2022, it simply tells you when the National Advisory Committee NAC, the second highest decision-making body of the party, could perform the roles and functions of the National Delegate Conference, which is the highest decision-making body of the party. In that Article 20G, it states thus, I quote, in special and emergency situations, it shall perform the roles and functions of National Delegate Conference where it is reasonably impossible to convene a National Delegate Conference. In short cases, not less than half of its members, including a representative from each political region, shall constitute a quorum. End of quote. It is also important to draw attention to the interpretation section of the same Constitution 2022 on page 184, which states where special and emergency situations are clearly defined. Special and emergency situations shall be limited to point 1, when the country is at war, force majeure, the death of the